Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Bushman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at each life path number forecast for August 2023. Before we get into that, this, of course, is a general forecast. If you would like your own personal year-ahead forecast, diamond forecast, your compatibility report with another person, your full numerology report, your business report, Numerology has you covered. Just book some time with me. My information is in the description box below, and let's take a look. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the August forecast for each individual life path number. Oh, 11s, do I love this energy that you all are working with for August. Okay, so I pulled an animal wisdom message for you all, and you got Raven energy. And Raven to me signifies the magician. And I'm going to talk about what that means for you all energetically for this month. But first, I just want to also mention the energy that you all are working with, the numbers, right? The numerology is 17-8. And so this is really, really significant. So I feel like this month for you all is going to bring an opportunity for some kind of alchemy that sort of bridges the heart and the mind, right? And sort of allowing you to step further and further into your own independence and your own autonomy, right? Because you have the energy of the 1, the 7, and the 8, predominantly the 8 that you're working with this month, but that 1 and that 7 are there. So the 7 is very much heart, mind, unseen, seen, metaphysical, physical, truth, knowledge, logic, and intuition, higher consciousness, guidance, right? And the merging of all of those things into your sort of higher self or greatest expression of self in this lifetime. And so, this is a small cycle. It's only a month long, so it's not going to be this huge thing probably that comes through. But I do think having the combination of the 1, 7, and the 8, there's something here because 8 energy is associated with, of course, all things physical. So power, prestige, status, influence, money, resources, career, business-minded leader, integrity, integrity-driven work type thing. And so having this coupled with the energy of the Raven, right? The Raven is alchemy, it's magic, it's manifestation, it's also willpower. So again, I come back to with the alchemy, there's something that you are meant to alchemize, is that the word? Bring together, fuse, merge, that will help you to step into your own, again, autonomy, independence, that's going to take willpower, right? And so that's not going to, where you're not going to allow yourself to be easily swayed in one direction or easily influenced by another. So when we look at the energy of the 11-2, right, or the 2, which ultimately that is your life path number, right? 2 on its journey does kind of come up against challenges where it can easily be influenced by others because it tries to avoid the conflict, right? It doesn't want to create waves. So a lot of times on the journey, we will face things that create that conflict, and then we have to figure out how to deal with it. And are we going to do it in a way that is true to ourselves, or are we going to do it in a way that accommodates others and their needs type thing? Or are we going to do it in a way that can kind of satisfy everyone? So it becomes a journey, right? But with a Raven, again, it's this sort of bringing in this sense of willpower, of sort of that innate knowing of what is best for self, and then finding a way to create an experience that satisfies that or that serves that. And then also with Raven, it's a manifestation energy, right? And so my belief system when it comes to manifestation, yours may be very different, and that's okay. Mine is that with manifestation, there's the idea, right? And you can see this also in numerology. I did a whole thing on the 0369 manifestation process, right? But we have the idea, we have the clean slate and the inspiration. And then we have to take the action, right? We have to move towards something. We are the creator. We are the sort of catalyst or the conduit to take that idea and turn it into something physical. And then once we do our part, we surrender it over to something bigger than self, right? The universe, God, whatever, to do its part. And we release any expectation of what it's going to look like in the end type thing, right? So it's a whole process. But when Raven shows up, sort of that, it's kind of like that energy of the stars aligning. So it's like if there's things that you really want to manifest, this is a great month to get started on that, to really put your energy towards that. Or if you're not sure what you want to manifest, this is such beautiful energy to be working with that this is a great time to create a vision board, create some kind of, some kind of bigger vision from your inspirations, from your passions, whatever the case may be, or pay attention to what comes in for you that feels like a greater inspiration and then move from that. But anytime Raven shows up, there's an element here of magic. There's an element here of the unseen at play. So how will we work with that energy? How will we mold it to create something very physical from it? And that becomes part of the alchemy, right? Or that process. Now, again, going back to the month, you guys are working with the 17-8 energy. So again, we have the 1, which is self. That's the vision, the visionary, the trailblazer, the independent sort of ingenuitive magician, let's say that, right? That's going to create something or manifest something from your vision, your dreams, your insights. The 7 is that bridge between the unseen and the seen, right? Which is what we need for that manifestation to take place. And then we have the 8 energy, which is the very physical, tangible, expert, authority kind of energy. So whatever sort of has the pressure point this month, wherever you feel like there's being pressure put on something this month, that's where you're meant to be an authority. So if this has to do with relationships, then where is it that you need to take back your authority in that connection, right? Because also 8 energy can be power plays. So if someone has power over you, this is the month that you're going to gain that power back, or you're meant to. If you have power over somebody else, this is going to be probably a month where there's going to be some power struggles, and that person will probably take their power back. This is about empowerment, so personal empowerment. So if there's anywhere where you're giving your energy away, this is going to be a month where you reclaim that, you take that back. Also willpower. There's going to potentially be tests around or challenges around things that test your will, especially with 8 energy. That's why this is such a beautiful energy to come out with 8 energy with a Raven. So again, your will may be tested this month, and you're going to have to sort of pause and see, what do you want to do about that? How are you going to handle that? So anytime the 8 energy is present, again, we're being asked to be the authority in wherever that pressure is being placed. If the pressure is being put on finances, we're being asked to become the authority of our own finances. What do we need to do to get to a place that we feel confident in our finances? Same thing with status. If we feel like, that's out of our hands, where is it that we can sort of gain back that power and become the authority? So the 8 is going to put pressure on anywhere that we're giving our power away, basically. Because that 17 is there, it makes me think that this is going to be something where we are meant to really pay attention to the head and the heart, combine those energies, meet in the middle, make sure that one is not overriding the other, that we're taking everything into consideration, and that we're taking risks, right? One energy. We're taking risks towards our own vision, our greater goals, and we're owning our space. This is big, big energy for that, especially with the 8. And you could also notice this month that things come up around contracts, legal agreements, things either you're either going into some kind of legal agreement or you're coming out of one, right? So just make sure that if you are going into some kind of commitment or this long term, right, where you're signing your name to something, or there's some kind of contract up for negotiation, just make sure that you are reading the fine print, that you're having someone who's a professional take a closer look at it. Because again, when the 8 shows up, power plays, battle of wills, all those things can kind of come up that not that someone would intentionally try to take advantage of you or your situation, but it's possible. And what does that do? That helps us to stand in our power and stand up for ourselves, right? So that's also possible. So really, this is going to be a month potentially where you will have to, stand in your power, own your space, say what you mean and go after it type thing, and take a risk and have that willpower and not be easily influenced by the external, right? To really follow your intuition and be decisive. That's another key point here with all this sort of circulating like powerful energy, is to be decisive and then trust your decision. Don't second guess yourself. Don't keep going back. Don't, just make a decision, stick with that decision, follow through, and then work through any of the consequences, good or uncomfortable, right? You are ultimately the magician and you have the raven by your side. So I hope it's a beautiful August for you all, 11s. Take care. Bye for now.